That's mad.
Bro, so like it's crazy. So there's so much money that can be made, but you have to find a way to get attention in the first place, right? That's the hard part. And if you look at a lot of companies, so many of them have huge profit margins, but they have to spend all their money on advertising to sell any product, and then the margin gets wrecked because they have to get attention the old-fashioned way, which is advertising. And that's a very expensive way to get attention. You need to find another way now. And it's difficult. That is the only hurdle between being broke and being a billionaire. Attention. How do you get it without embarrassing yourself and being a jackass? Because no one buys from a clown, right? Mm-hmm. So me, I'm lucky because I've had a very, very eclectic life, and I'm good at speaking, and I have a good memory, and I have a lot of stories, and I can sit and tell people, and I can talk in a way that make people know I know what I'm talking about. So that's how I get attention, right? Yeah. But if you don't even have that, then it's difficult. It's hard. You got to find a way. But yeah, that's what Hustlers University is all about. And we teach people how to monetize attention, and we have 17 other ways to make money. And now we have, as of this, and I'll check right now, I think we have 64,000 students.
64. I think I was watching an emergency meeting or clip of it or something like that. I think you said at the time it was 32,000.
64,835 students.
Yeah, mad.
And what's impressive about that is not that I've managed to attract 64,000 people to join Hustlers University.
The fact that they're staying.
It's the fact they're staying. The fact they're staying means that there's 64,000 people making more money each month than they pay. It's only $49 a month, right? So there's 64,000 people who I have successfully taught to make more than they've invested. Mm-hmm. No school, no business school, no university will guarantee you month on month you make out more than you put in. None. Only mine. And I don't exist in a vacuum. The educational system exists in a vacuum because the loans that they'll give you, you can only spend on that education. If they were to open it up to fair market, nobody would go university. If they're to say, here's 50 G's. You can buy Bitcoin, you can start a business, you can put a house deposit, or you can buy a degree. Who's going to choose a degree? No one. So they deliberately link the loan to the education and say you can only have one with the other because then they don't exist in a fair and open economy because they wouldn't be able to succeed in a fair and open economy because they are selling a scam. They're selling a lie. I exist in a fair and open economy. You don't have, if you spend $49 with HU, you can spend that on anything else. You can go buy Snickers.
But on the contrary to that,
let me go buy Netflix.
Let me ask you this, yeah, because in the UK, a lot of people see course sellers as scammers instantly. Whether the course is good or not, people always say scammers, yeah. And there's some videos I saw about Hustlers University, people thinking it's a scam or it's not. Yep. So the argument I would have for you is, what's in it for you? Like, what do you gain from having a Hustlers University? Because you're rich already, so what difference does it make?
That's right. So firstly, there's always going to be somebody who thinks it's a scam. And man, people are saying Bitcoin's a scam. People are saying some of the most fundamental, rudimentary, new financial systems on the planet, like the blockchain, are a scam. There's always someone who's going to say something's a scam. There's some people who are negative. And the reason that people are negative like that is because it is a disguise for their laziness. If they say something is a scam, they don't have to try.
Yeah.
Right? If they have to, I'm not saying HU is going to instantly make you rich. You have to work like you do on anything else of value. You have to get in there and try. If they get in there and they don't want to try, what's the first thing they're going to say? Scam. I joined. He told me to do something. It takes an hour and a half. I'm lazy. Scam. That's it. That 16-year-old kid making 45 grand, he's making TikToks all day, every day. He's working. Like, he ain't getting money for free. He's sitting there finding videos, chopping them up, making them entertaining, adding the fucking titles. He's working for it.
The thing is, like we were going back to earlier, people ain't got the attention span.
People ain't got the attention span to work anymore, right? So there's always going to be somebody who says it's a scam. The fact that we retain 64,000 people proves it's not a scam.
Yeah.
The reason I started it is very, very simple. I think that, I don't want to sit here and pretend I'm a philanthropist because I'm not. Obviously, I benefit from having this university. It's a very valuable company. It makes a lot of money, right? So why wouldn't I want to run one? But also, it doesn't detriment me. I don't think that some rich people, maybe they believe that there's not much money in the world and they don't want other people to be rich. I completely see it the other way. I see it that there is so much money everywhere. And even I can't get it all. So I want as many people around me as possible to be rich because now I'm at least around more money. If I send a message inside of HU and said, I want to raise $100 million, amongst my students themselves, I can do it. I've got my own venture capital firm now. I was like, boom, all right, 100 million, let's buy a yacht. Here, dish it up, bang, 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 done. Yeah. Because all of them are making money. I want to know as many people with money as possible. So if I know a way to teach people how to make money, and I'll also make money for teaching them how to make money, and I now have people who I can talk to so I have access to the money they make, why would I not teach them how to make money? Now, the reason no one else has really done this is because I don't think anyone else knows how to make money as well as I do. And also nobody else can really prepare and build a platform like we have or do the work it takes. HU is extremely difficult to launch. It's not easy to find 18 professors who know what they're talking about, build an online platform, then you need the payment gateways. And then even when all that's done, then you got to find a way to get people to join. You got to advertise it. I don't have to advertise anything because I'm top G. Everyone knows. But it's difficult, right? So we don't even have any competition. There's nowhere else on the internet you can go and spend $49 and sit for an entire month learning from 18 millionaires how to make money. There's nowhere else on the planet. No. It's the only place. So we have no competition. So we're about to conquer the world. We're about to conquer the world, and that's a good thing.
And you said his value's at what now? 300 million, you said, right?
Well, let's do some basic math, right? So as of this morning, what did we say? 64,853.
Yep.
So
members.
64,853 times $49 a month. So that's 3.1 million a month.
Okay.
It generates.
Yeah.
That's all profit. It's an online platform.
No cost.
So what's that a year? 3 times 12 is 36 million a year. So, and then if you're going to put a multiplier on a business, there's different ways you can do it. If you're going to do you can do a 4 times multiplier, et cetera, et cetera. But tech companies usually get an 8 times multiplier. And it's usually an 8 times multiplier of the turnover, not even the profit. Right? Mm-hmm. So that's my turnover, but my turnover and profit are the same thing. So it's easy to value at 10x, right? Which is 36 times 10 is 360, or an 8x is 300.
That's crazy.
But I'm never going to sell it because I won't sell it because it's mine. 1, 2, I don't need money. And 3, I don't trust anyone else to teach the things we're teaching actually work. It's not going to be some vanilla bullshit, right? It actually works. And I also think like a lot of these people, a lot of these wealth gurus and crap online, they don't teach shit that really, really works. A lot of them also just teach mindset because mindset is an easy cop out. They'll sit there and go, I'll teach you how to be rich with mindset. They'll just tell you to be mindset. And you'll be like, at the end of it, you're like, all right, cool. Where's the money? I'm ready now. I'm positive, G. How do I get paid? Right? We don't do any of that. We're like, okay, here's how you get paid today. Do this. And there's people who are in there who think they're too smart to listen and they don't make any money. And then there's 16-year-olds who join humbly. I don't know shit. I trust Top G. You said make TikToks. Safe. Boom. Boom. And he's buying his mama a house. Yeah. So like, it's all about that. A lot of people with no money are really, really arrogant. I know a lot of broke people who are very arrogant. They'll come along and go, I think that's a scam. Oh, do you, Brokey? Oh, Brokey thinks it's a scam. Oh, tell me again about how my online educational platform, the biggest in the world, which I've built when I'm flying around in my private jet. Tell me again about how I'm out here to scam you of your fucking 36 pounds. It's dumb because they're arrogant, and their arrogance is a shield for their laziness. People will shield laziness with anything. No one wants to admit they're lazy. So they'll shield it with disbelief. That's a scam. Or I don't work hard, I work smart. Bollocks. More cover. For just anything it takes to say, I don't want to work.
Do you believe in that? Work smarter, not harder?
I believe in both.
Yeah.
But there's a time when it comes to work smart. And most people are trying to do the smart work before they do the hard work. It's kind of like talent. Right? You don't notice if you're talented at something until all the hard work's done.
Yep.
I could be the most talented tennis player in the world, but I don't play tennis. So if I go down the tennis court, Joe Schmo is going to smoke me. I don't get to see my talent until I've worked so hard that I'm in the top 1%, and now I'm beating them because I have some God-given gift.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
You have to do the hard work first. If there's no hard work, there's no smart work. So someone's going to sit there and go, I work smart, I don't work hard, so I only have to work an hour a day. If working smart gets you a lot done in an hour a day, then you should work smart for 12 hours a day and get 12 times the work done. I am absolutely and utterly a believer in hard work. I'm a proponent of hard work. I have all this money and all I do is work. My entire life is work. This podcast is work. I'm getting in the car. I'm going to another meeting. Work. I'm going to fuck a bitch. That's work. She's going to be on my arm at the in Cannes on the film festival. That's more credibility. I consider it work to fuck her. That's work. I want to go to the gym so I'm in good shape. Work. It's all work. My entire life is work. And people don't want to look at life that way. They want to talk about work-life balance and being lazy and all this crap. I don't believe in any of that. I believe in if you want to win, you have to outcompete the man who's prepared to do nothing but work. It's player versus player. If you're going to sit there and go, I don't want to work more than an hour a day, well, the guy who does want to work more than an hour a day is going to beat you. And no matter how smart you are, there's always a smart dude who's doing the same smart work you are for more hours than you're doing it. That's just the nature of the game. And this is why we talk about things like passive income. Passive income's a fucking scam. I'm tired of people coming to me saying, I want to make passive income. And I sit there and say,
what methods of passive income would you say is a scam?
It's not about it being a scam. It's about the mentality towards it is a scam. Look, everyone loves passive money, right? I make money as I sleep. Yep. I get it. You need to de-link your time to your money because if you're only working for money, you run out of time, you can't make enough money. I understand all those principles. My point is, if you have no money and you're coming to me saying, I want to make passive income, why are you not making active income? Get up off your ass and work first. Because there's no such thing as completely, truly 100% passive. You're going to have to check on it. You're going to have to maintain it. You're going to have to find a new tenant for that property. You're going to have to make sure that DeFi crypto farm you're in doesn't go to zero. It's not a rug pull. Yeah. You're always going to have to keep an eye on it, right? But the idea that people with no money are already so concerned with making money without work is amazing to me. You should be worried about active income. If you show me, if I'm a brokey and you show me how to make $1,000 an hour, I don't sit there and go, okay, but how can I make that passive? I go, cool, I'm making $18,000 a day because I'm going to work. Dude, you don't need to worry about passive income until you have no more time. I look at passive income because I have 18 hours a day I work. When all 18 of those hours are done and my workload still isn't finished, I have to find a way to make some of those income streams passive, either via staff or whatever else. Yep. And that's how I work smart. I use all of my time, and when all my time is done, now I have to become more efficient so that I can get more done within the same time frame. To sit there and say, I don't want to use my time, so I want passive income is dumb shit. The 16-year-old making 45 grand a month, if he was to sit to me and go, I don't want to make the TikToks, I want someone else to do it, make it passive, that he wouldn't be making any money. He's just working. You have to just work. At some point, you have to bite the bullet and just work. So when someone comes to me talking about passive income and they're a brokey, I'm like, you are just lazy. You are lazy. You will never get anywhere. Lazy people never get anywhere in life. Doesn't matter what it is. Doesn't matter if it's tennis or money. If you're lazy, you're never going to get there. That's how it works.
See, that's what motivates me, telling people straight how
it's true. But it's fucking true, bro. They're lazy. And another thing about people is they're quitters. I can't stand quitters. We have a thing inside Hustlers University. If someone unsubscribes, I ban them.
Is it?
Yeah, you're not allowed to rejoin.
Yeah.
And they email me like, oh, sorry, I had a problem with my card. I want to rejoin. Da, da, da. I don't need members. I got money. I do not need your membership. I do not need you. It's not a business where we need you. You need us, right? So if you're the kind of person who's going to quit because it's hard, then fuck off. I don't even want your energy around me, because quitters are the worst people on the planet. You can give a quitter absolutely everything and they will still fail. You can give it doesn't matter what it is. If you go to IKEA and buy a flat pack fucking table and put it in front of a quitter, you will never have a table. He'll look at it, it's just long, and he'll quit. Quitters can have every single advantage. Quitters can have all the information. Quitters can have all the tutelage. Quitters can have a mentorship. Quitters can have someone who messages them every morning, hey, bro, let's get it. And guess what they're going to do at the end?
Quit.
They ain't never going to have shit. So if you're a quitter, I don't even want you even inside my organization. I don't want quitters anywhere near me, because you're never going to be successful. And the people who join and then quit because they had to do an hour's work are the people who come along and go, take this, maybe it's a scam. Idiots. Peons. They will stay brokies and wagies forever. Leave them there, right? You need the people who don't quit. I don't quit. Every single facet of my life is testament to the fact that I don't quit. When people see my plane in the sky, you can say whatever you want about me. You can call me arrogant. You can call me anything you want, but you cannot call me a quitter. I didn't quit. So that's the difference. When it was hard, I did it anyway. That's who I've always been. And if you don't have that kind of tenacity, you're never going to be anything. So the people who come along and talk about passive income, they sound like quitters to me. They sound like people who don't want to work. I love work. I'm ready to work. I'll dig a hole. Bro, you offer me $1 billion right now and give me a shovel, I'll dig a hole. I don't give a fuck. Give me the shovel, give me the money. I will dig a hole. I'm not afraid of work.
One of the hustles that I want to move to that you've been involved in is casinos, right?
Yeah.
So I was watching a podcast and you overheard someone in the UFC or the Romanian UFC saying that they made $18 million a day in the casinos, right?
Yeah.
You now own casinos.
Yes. So, yeah, I have a stake in some casinos in Bucharest. COVID came along and made that a bit difficult.
Yep.
But that's another reason why you have to diversify, right? So I'm involved in the casino business. I'm involved in a bunch of businesses. But that's why you have to diversify, because COVID came along and wrecked a whole bunch of businesses. But then also it made others a whole ton of money. Mm-hmm. That's another thing about making money and networking and that kind of thing. Once you can diversify, it's amazing. So they say don't put all your eggs in one basket. That's half true. If you have something and it's working, yeah, focus on it, make a bunch of money, but then you need to diversify and make yourself anti-fragile, which I'm glad I did. So the casino business, it's kind of new. It's a few years old, but I can't say much about it because we had a 2.5-year gap where they closed everything. So we just started again. So, but at that time also crypto went to the moon. So I threw like 2 million in Bitcoin, went up to 20 million, whatever it went up to.
Yeah. Right?
So that's how it works. You got to have a lot of pans in the fire and you'll be okay. So yeah, I've got the casino business running. I've got a few things running. Got the war room as well, which is something else that we can talk about later on. So I've got a whole bunch of stuff going on, but also diversification becomes very easy when you have a good team. It's amazing. Every single thing I talk about ties back to things we've already talked about before. We talked about having good people around you, right? So how can I run all these casinos while I'm not even there? Well, I got people around me who can do things for me. I got a good team of people. If you start with a good team, you're going to make it. That's really true. Brotherhood in and of itself is so valuable. If you sit around with 20 people and none of them are lazy and none of them are snakes, you're going to be fine. So you need to have people you can give word. This guy's in charge of this thing. That guy's in charge of this
Delegate
thing.
people, different roles, different tasks.
Absolutely. You got to have a team. You got to have a network. And my network is so strong. That's one of the big advantages I have. I have people around me who I can genuinely, seriously trust.
I want to ask you something, yeah?
Sure.
Everyone always asks about best advice you've ever received, right?
Yeah.
What's the worst advice anyone's ever given you?
That's a good question. I've seen a lot of bad advice on the internet. What's the worst advice anyone's ever given me personally? I never really listened to anybody. So it's hard for me to talk about advice because I never listened to it. The traditional path to wealth is terrible advice. To go to university, get a degree, get a job, blah, blah, blah. That's terrible advice. We already know that. We talked about that. I think follow your passion is also a terrible piece of advice.
Yeah?
Yeah. People say, hey, man, you need to find what you're passionate about and do that. And what they're trying to say is only do what you like because you have no motivation to do anything else. And motivation in and of itself is a scam. I don't believe in motivation. I believe in discipline. I am not motivated to do the things I'm supposed to do every day. I don't wake up full of like joy that I have to go to the gym or that I have to work or I got to deal with crap. I don't feel motivated to do them. I'm disciplined. I do them regardless of how I feel. Whether I'm in the mood to do it or I'm not in the mood to do it, it gets done. That's discipline. Discipline's a real thing. Motivation is fleeting.
Yeah.
You're never going to be permanently motivated. So when someone comes along and says, oh, do what you're passionate about, what they're saying is you'll have endless motivation and then you'll be able to try hard. If you're the kind of person who can only try hard at something he enjoys, then you're going to fail. Because most things you enjoy don't pay any money. If they paid money, you wouldn't enjoy them. It's called a job, right? Nobody likes their job. You like your hobby. I'm sure you like playing video games. Maybe 1%, 0.1% can make money from video games, right? Most people, you ain't ever going to make it.
Yeah.
Do you think the guy in China who owns a concrete plant is passionate about concrete? Do you think he's sitting there stroking it at night, naked in bed? Fuck no. It's money. Be passionate about success. If you're passionate about money, then you can be passionate about anything. I'll be passionate about any business on earth that pays me. If you pay me $1 billion to dig that hole, I'll be very passionate about that hole. I will dig that hole with passion for the cash.
Yeah, because you know the cash.
For the money.
Yeah.
That's right. So when people come along and say, oh, you need to find something you're passionate about, follow your passion. Bro, you're going to follow your passion to the fucking food bank. You're never going to make any money that way. You have to sit there and go, what is going to pay me? And I often talk, this is another thing we teach inside of Hustlers University and also the War Room. The War Room is a network I have, which is a level above HU. Mm-hmm. Everything I've talked about with brotherhood and people you can trust and capable people, that's what the War Room is. The War Room are people who have come along and we've all agreed, very much like me and Tristan have a relationship, is 2,100 men now in 72 countries. And we've all basically signed a contract. We're brothers now. So I have 15 businesses operating inside of there. Businesses are opening all the time. No one's ever been snaked. No one's ever been robbed. It's just 2,100 guys making money all around the world. We're doing everything you can possibly imagine, bro. From selling olive oil to private jets, you name it. We got it all going on. So this is serious. It's very much like the Freemasons, but cooler. Yeah. So that's the War Room. So we got the brotherhood aspect as well. But yeah, it's all about people. It's all about network. That's the truth about it.
I want to ask you, yeah, there's a lot of clips of you, giving stories of where in scenarios anyone else would have died, something like that. There was a story on Tate Speech, right, where you're driving the 911, some guy in a super fast comes past. Yeah. If anyone else was driving, they would have died, yeah?
Yeah.
Where does this killer survival instinct from Tate come from?
I think the world is a violent place. I think there's violence all around us. I think that I view the world in a violent way. And I don't mean that in a negative context. I say a lot of things and people take them as negative, but I see them as positive, right? Like I say I'm an angry person and people imagine me to be like unhappy. Yeah. I'm super happy, but I'm angry. Angry is motivating to me. You can't sleep if you're angry, so you better work, right? So I'm an angry guy, but I'm a happy guy. And I see the world as a violent place. I've always seen it as a violent place. If most people look at a tree, they see a beautiful tree, right? If I look at a big, strong, beautiful tree, I think he must have fucked up every other little sapling around him. He took all the water, took all the nutrients. He destroyed them all. There was once 20 trees, and all 19 are dead. And they got one tree left, the big G, top G tree.
One.
Top tree. Tate. That's it. That's violence. Violence got him there, right? He destroyed his enemy. That's how he got to the top. You see a beautiful tree. I see violence. You understand? Yeah. And that's the true nature of the universe. You have to learn that you have to take things from other people. And by taking it, I'm not saying go rob a bank. I'm not saying that. I'm saying completely the opposite. You can be a philanthropist. I'm taking money from everyone inside of HU, but I'm changing their lives. It's a good thing. You can take money in a positive way. Most people don't look at life that way. And when you look at life that way, you need to start identifying. One of the things we teach inside of HU is to identify every single time your money is taken from you. So I say this to people. I say, for the next 2 weeks, every time you spend money, even if it's £1, write down how they got it from you. And they're like, what do you mean? I'm like, all right, cool. You're walking down the street. You're going to Starbucks. You buy a coffee. Why did they take your money? Well, I wanted coffee. Yeah, but how? Okay, you wanted coffee, right? Cool. Did you only want a coffee because you saw Starbucks, or did you want a coffee beforehand? Why did you want their coffee and not another coffee? Did you buy a cake as well? Why did you buy a cake? All right, cool. So now you identified how they took your money. Then realize how they could have took more of your money. You bought a cake, but you didn't buy a sandwich. Why? The sandwiches weren't on display, or they looked cold, or they looked rubbish, or the woman who was serving me was old and ugly. Maybe she was a young cutie and talked to me about bologna sandwiches. I would have bought one, right? So you need to start identifying how your money is taken from you. Because once you identify how your money is taken from you, you can start to actually intelligently think about how you can take money from other people. If I had to open a coffee shop, if I sit in a coffee shop, right? If I sit in Starbucks, the whole time I'm in there, not only am I thinking about how they got the money from me and how much I spent, I'm thinking about how I could outcompete them. I'd sit there and go, okay, cool. I'm in Starbucks. I spent £5.68. I got a latte and I got a donut, and I'm sitting here. And that business place, that commercial property right across the street is available for lease. How could I outcompete this coffee shop which just took my money? What's the profit margin on this £5.68? How much did this cost them? The coffee, pennies. Donut, 30p maybe, right? How much is the staff? They pay the staff minimum wage £8 an hour. So I've already paid 30 minutes work from that brokey, the wage. She's there for another 30 minutes for free, right? How much is the rent? How much is the business rates? If I had to open up there, how would I attract people to come into my shop as opposed to their shop? They got a big brand name. I'm brand new. Okay, well, the bitch working here is ugly. My one's going to be hot. Boom, that's the beginning. Next thing, do they have any signage outside? No, I'm going to try and put some signage outside. Do they have parking? No, I need parking. But you need to start thinking about how you can convince people to give you their money as opposed to giving it to the places they already give it.
Different analytics.
And once you do that, people say, I can't think of how to make money. If you start doing that for a year and just keep a notepad, you'll have 100 ideas of how to make money. You'll sit there and go, there's a place here that's doing this, and we could do it better this way. This place online is doing this, we can do it better this way. And then to get them all done, what do you need? Network. You need people. It's all about people. Then you need to either go in the war room if you want to join, or have your people around you and say, okay, we can make money with this. Who's going to do it? Who's not lazy? Who's getting up at 4 a.m. tomorrow? Boom, let's get it done. So there's unlimited ways to make money, but most people go through life and their money is taken from them, and they don't even identify how they got tricked out of it.
They're just happy with it.
Yeah, they just have. How did I spend 16 grand in Cirque last night? Oh, because my ass got drunk. How'd they get me drunk? Well, because the guy, when I first bought the first bottle of champagne, was there on the table, pouring, putting it in my hand, got me drunk, then I spent 16 grand on bottles. That's how they got my money. So if I open a club, I need to make sure when people first come in, they get fucking hammered. Nobody thinks about it that way. Nobody thinks, how did they get that out of me? Right? Why am I spending $2,000 for dinner in Novikov? Is it the food, or is it the fact that I'm in Novikov and tag myself in Novikov? You have to identify how you're getting famoosed, how you're getting finessed. That's how you do it. But most people just walk through life getting finessed left, right, and center, giving all their money up. And then, oh, how did that happen?
You got to learn to finesse other people.
Yeah, but it's not finessing in a negative way.
It's in a good way.
It's a good way. You have to take money from other people. That's the only way you're going to make money. Yeah. You have to take it. There's a pimp, and he said a really intelligent line. He said, business is just other people's money. That's all business is. I want to start a business. So you want other people's money. That's what you want. So how are they going to give it to you? You have to think about it. Nobody thinks about it. And the easiest way to think about it is to think how you're giving yours away. That's a mental model you should adopt.
Yeah.
And you'll end up with loads of business ideas. Business ideas are everywhere. It's just execution, which is difficult.
You know what? Going back to what we said earlier about the survival instinct here, at the end of the day, the way I see it is, and this relates to Islam as well, yeah? I'm a Muslim. Yep. At the end of the day, when day of judgment comes and all that stuff, every man for themselves, essentially, right?
Yep.
Am I right in saying that? Yeah, every man for themselves, and that's where that comes through. So you're prepared for that. Yep. And I saw in clips as well that you've got understanding and sort of respect for Islam. So
a massive respect for it. I have a massive respect for Islam because they have principles which they refuse to bend on, and we live in a world now where every single principle is being constantly bent and broken. Yeah. And I like to see a fundamental, or I like to see a mental model which is rigid.
Yeah.
There's nothing left rigid anymore. The law isn't rigid. Christianity isn't rigid. Like the only thing you can sit there and say they will not bend or they will not break is Islam. So I have absolute respect for them because it's just a masculine imperative. It's just a masculine mindset to have. And as a man, I respect people who say what they mean what they say. Those are the rules. Oh, you don't like it? Tough. And besides Islam, there's not much of that left in the world now. Now everything's just bending and breaking, and they're just making it up.
Yeah.
Like, I think Christianity is a joke. I think it's a joke of a religion. If someone were to ask me my religion, I would have to say, if I was to find God, it would have to be via Islam, because how am I going to go to a Christian church when they got gay pastors and shit?